right, after my mega podcast, I'm kind of going really condensed, or I should say specific on one topic. The depth chart came out today. Dolphins Realtor put it up on a Twitter thing, and it has a lot of interesting stuff. Good news, a lot of good news. I think from what you see here, based on the possibilities of things, Dolphins are now set to be in position to take this week one game. It's critical. So I'm going to go over the depth chart that was released and all the very interesting stuff that's there and what it's kind of pointing to a few things. And I'm going to use this information now and start going through the film of the, and roster of the Jags and the Dolphins and kind of build matchups as we go. So I'm back to the live on Friday at 10 p.m. Eastern time. I think last week I scheduled it for 10 p.m. my time. I screwed up. 10 p.m. Eastern time. I'm going to ask all the usual guys, the great guys that have been supporting me to come on. We'll talk the games, the Thursday, Friday night game, and obviously heavy Dolphin stuff. So come join us there. And in another little bit of news, you might have seen him. He's been on the live before. Scott, he and I have been spending, 2 months maybe, building this analytics stat set to create the leverage to show the quarterback's framework as the best that we can by using a whole host of information to show what kind of job the quarterback is doing with the framework around him. Is it being enhanced? Is it being reduced? Is it somewhere in the middle? We're going through the entire NFL. We're codifying and putting it out. We're going to get that out with the film podcast. I'm going to show you how we do it, what it is, what it's about. I'm going to use film to kind of go step by step. I love it. And a lot of it's not just me, it's him. So, yeah, I'm involved. I guess I got to say it's great. But I really do think it's good. It's not the end-all, be-all, but I think it's going to go a long way to helping us identify the quarterback situation. So I just want to give you that information. You could see the depth chart here. And I put the little red circles, ovals, whatever, around the important or interesting things that we see. Great news. Aaron Brewer is starting. I kind of felt he was starting. I wasn't too scared about it. I think that's why they kind of moved off Driscoll. They needed an absolute backup. I've been saying that. They need a clear backup, a center backup. So they don't want to move Eichenberg, who's starting at guard. So I'm going to get into all that. That's the key thing. Benito Jones is another key element. Jalen Phillips, can't believe he's starting. Very interesting. Storm Duck's on the roster. And Kader Kohu is starting slot. Also, I did put in there Ramsey. It was a little uncertain, but I knew he'd kind of make it. Walker's, a lot of good stuff, guys. This team is playing at home. They're playing not a great team. I think they've gotten better, but there's shades of inconsistency. They're going to be frying. Frying. Did I say frying? In that sun. We should be able to take this and set ourselves up for that short week 2 against the Bills, which my wife and I are going to. So, guys, anybody who's going to that game and would love to just shake your hand, say hi quick, I would really like that. I value you guys a ton. So many, I see, little pictures and we write back and forth. But I'd like to see your face and shake your hand. That's what really means stuff to me. So I'm going to be there at the week 2. So if you want to get a chance to catch up, just say hi, shake hands, and chat or whatever, eat a hot dog, whatever the deal is, let me know. I will make that happen. I promise. Okay? Because I'm going to get there early for the tailgate party. It's going to be a blast. So that's it. So Tyreek Hill, hand back. Is it 100%? I don't know. But Tyreek at 90% is better than most guys, 110%. So that's good news. Tehran's playing. He hasn't really played for a while. Be very interesting to see how that plays out. Patrick Paul's backing him. And while I see him as a backup in that tackle spot, the left tackle, I really think you could see Kendall Lamb circled. I think he's a true backup for both left and right tackle, but they put him there. It looks good. It makes him... it helps boost his confidence, but I don't think he's officially the number 2. Robert Jones, I'm pretty high on him, but I didn't like his last film. He got beat bad against Tampa a couple times, a little nervous about that, but I love his ability to handle power. It's going to be important with this Jags defense. So he's going to be the left guard. Brewer, very interesting to see how he does. A lot of talk about him replacing Connor and his skill set. We needed him. I mean, however you slice it, he's way better than Driscoll, way better than Meyer, and he's way better than Liam. Okay? And Liam, he struggles. It's clear. But he's better at guard. And I think there's a chance for this kid to get some confidence, maybe get some stuff done at right guard far more than center. It's a lot of pressure. And if you're struggling and you're not certain, it can turn to a disaster. So this is great news. You got, like I said, Liam and Jackson. It will be interesting to see how Jackson steps up. If you go look at his stuff, last year he was playing a torn abdominal, so you can't not say it's something. But everyone in the league's playing with something. He struggled at tail end, but there's a fair excuse. This is our opportunity. He's healthy. He's being asked to be a leader. I mean, the leaders now are Tehran, Brewer, and Jackson. And if you put Eichenberg between Brewer and Jackson, they've got to uplift like Connor and Hunt did last year. So this is a big eval. Do I know where it's going? No. Am I hoping? Yeah. I'm hoping it's going really high. Am I concerned? Yes. But let's not get concerned until we get there, because we've shown there's a lot of ways to hide guys. If Jones plays well and everybody else plays well, even if Eichenberg struggles a little bit, you can kind of mask that in a lot of ways. So Durham Smythe, I thought it was interesting. Durham Smythe and Julian Hill at the tight end. Fullback, F back. Alec Ingold, Smith, and Tanakana. I can see that it's not Tanakana. So that's good. That group right there is our F should be for flexibility. And I did podcast with Kyle Krabs, and he talked about a dynamic 12 personnel. In a lot of ways, I think he's right. I do obviously disagree in one part, but when you listen to what he says, and he talks about dynamic 12 personnel, Ingold, Smith, and Tanakana, and Hill, not Smythe so much, he's a steady Eddie. They offer a lot of flexibility that if this is the formula, it's the correct formula, we're going to see some magic in this, and it should be the separator. Now, Jags are on the highest end. We got everything going our way as far as the house and everything. But if we see some pop from this, it really can add gravitas to that take. So we got to wait and see. Raheem is obviously the starter. Wilson behind him, Achane and right. Achane had a little sleeve on his leg. I don't expect to see him too much just yet. I think that Mostert is the Jalen Wright, the old dog Jalen Wright. Jalen Wright's the young dog Mostert who's going to kind of flip that role eventually. So I think they're going to ride Mostert and Achane and sprinkle in a little Wilson, unless it's a blowout and they feel really good what's going on, and you bring in Wright. I think the guy's got a load of talent. I think he could do stuff with our 12 personnel to make that one cut and get in there and actually do those big shot in the gonads hit when they disrespect us with their high coverage dimes and nickels when we bring the 12 and the 21. But I'm not sure that's going to happen yet. Tua, obviously, Skyler, and then you got Waddle, who hasn't seen a lot of action. It's going to be very interesting to see. I'm sure he's going to be fine, but we got to see. And then you got Malik and Du Bois, and Du Bois did show a lot of stuff with the blocking, and so we have enough. I'm not going to get too much into the Jags, but we have enough on this offense to do what we need to do. And the longer this game goes, the more likely they're going to give up big plays. And they have a good secondary when we don't have OBJ, so we can't fully accentuate it, but we have a lot of pieces here to really test that, although they do have a good secondary and linebacker group. But we'll see. So everything looks good. Everything's set up. Chris Greer and Mike McDaniel, some people are totally high on what they've built. Some people are questionable, and some people don't believe in it. This will be a great test. And this offense should be driving this team. And in this situation, we should see, if this is kind of going in the right direction, we should see 28, 31 points, 34 points. I think that would be a great positive sign if this is going in the right direction. obviously with the win. Now on defense, obviously Sealer gets his own little spot. He's the leader. He's the special guy. He's the muscle and the talent and the agility on the inside. We all love this guy for many reasons. But for me, the key, because what we run mostly is a 3-tech, which would be Sealer, Deshaun Hand, and Campbell. And that's between the guard and the tackle here. But then inside on that 1 and 2-eye between the center and the guard, that's Benito Jones and Brandon Peely. I want to try to get some quick film. I don't know if I can, but I'm going to try. But last year I called Peely the agile battler. But this year, he added the agile battler, but then added more stout. I like his direction. I've been high on him for 2 years. He's going to be key, but not nearly as key as Benito Jones, who's been out for a little bit. I'm not high on Benito. I think the key is, as a caveat to that, I think the key is that Benito and Peely get the double. They demand the double to free up Sealer and Campbell and a Hand. Because those guys are the agility guys. Those guys are going to wreck plays. You know, Peely might be able to, but I don't think you're going to see enough of him. Jones, he just doesn't have the speed. But out from 3 yards per carry, he was awesome. He really says this guy's dropped a lot of weight and looks really, really good. And maybe things clicked, and if he can do that, where he draws the double sometimes, and then maybe develops more and more of that as we go through the season, it's a big, big piece for us. Campbell, love him at the 4 and 5, like him at the 3. He's very tall. I think he's fine in pass rush. A little concerned in the run block, but I think he's still very good. And I'm sure he's going to play a lot of spots between a 3 and a 5. Deshaun Hand's really good. What a good back end pick. He can really hold things down in a lower role, but you've got, Campbell and Sealer and Hand to kind of soak that up, and maybe even Agba. Then you got Jalen Phillips, one of the greatest guys that I've seen in the Dolphins uniform. Awesome human, unbelievable physical specimen, and I never expect him to be ready week 1. I'll admit that, but the science has gone bonkers, it seems like, from last year to this year. And so he's back. I don't know how much he's going to contribute. I don't know how much he's going to play in a run game, but that's unbelievable. I mean, that's heroic. I mean, he is so, considering Chubb is, who knows when he's going to, who knows, maybe next week with what we got over. I don't know. But him being here is such a big asset, even if it's just in the pass rush and light dash in the run game till he gets himself. Unbelievable stuff. Quentin Bell made the team. Very interesting guy to keep for us. UDFA, big thing. Walker's back to help with the coverage. Long, Jordan Brooks, big time for Jordan Brooks. Duke Riley backing up. And in the back, you could see Tyndall. He's stuck and he had some action, so you never know. You could see some pop from him, and that would go a long way for us as well. And then the other outside linebacker, you see Agba, who he had a pretty darn good camp. He could play that 4, maybe 3 if you need it. Definitely the 5. I like him a lot at the 4. Chop Robinson, we know what he could do. You can line him inside in that nickel and shoot those gaps before they even get out of their pants. He's past them. I think from the edge, he's pretty good. He's got to get some more tools. Can he hold up in the run game? That's interesting. Kamara behind him. He's still developing, which is fine. Van Ginkel, look how awesome Van Ginkel was. And it took him a year and a half. But you got some very good depth there. Ramsey had to let some dings, but he's fine. He's back. Full is next to him. Key for the 2 on the outside. Bonner. If you watched the dive bar, check it out. Dive bar does a good job. Come on, guys. You got to support them some more, please. Bonner, you got to meet him. You got to see how smart this guy is and how humble he is. And you add that talent in there. This could be a very big steal for us. It'll be very interesting to see how he plays out. Neal's the backup corner. Is he just a special teamer, or are they really trusting in him? That's going to be interesting. And then obviously Storm Duck is here. I'm sure he'll get some spot duties, maybe not right away. And then nickel. A lot of talk, Kadeko, who wasn't going to make it, but they've got him in there at nickel. Will he stay at nickel all the time? How much will he play? I don't know. But he fought like a Dickens to go from a back-end guy who was really on the outs and need him on the in for him to rise up and be a guy that's very consistent and trusted, and to get that spot. You got to give Kate. Kate has saved our season in 22. He's a good guy. And, he struggles in man and mid to late clock, but he worked his butt off, and maybe he's gotten a little bit leaner, a little bit faster. Maybe he reacts just a little bit quicker to buy that extra space so he doesn't have to be as fast. It'll be very interesting to see how he plays out, how he does this season. But it's great to see a guy at NOLA UDFA, along with Storm Duck and Bonner. These are big finds for us. Huge for the roster building. Again, I'm not the biggest Chris Greer guy, but you got to give credit for that. Then you got, look at this. Holland and Poyer at the top. Campbell and May. That is as good a group as we've seen here at the safety department in a long time. Poyer is crafty. He can come up, play that Robo role. He can come up and play a coverage. The run stop role. He can play in coverage. Holland. Some of the guys were talking today. I did one of those. I don't know what they call it. There's like a Twitter thing, X thing, and you go on and you talk, and it's like a talk thing. Some awesome guys on it. I'm sorry, guys. You were great to have me on, allow me to talk, learned some great questions, learned some great information. But one of the guys brought up, like, maybe Holland, who played like a slot role, cornerback role in college, he can kind of come in and play a little bit of that star along with Jalen Ramsey, kind of not certain who's doing what. It'll be very interesting to see his role. I thought that was a good point the brother made. I'm sorry, I forgot your name. I'm bad with names. I don't even know my kids' names, to tell you the truth, most of the time. So we've got everything kind of set up. There's no real holes here if everybody's as healthy as we think, and you can't ask for any more than that. You're 1 o'clock in the sun. It's going to be a hot day. You're going against a team that, maybe they're better, but they're still not, super great. But if you can knock them off, that is a huge feather in your cap and momentum and mojo going into the short week against the Bills, which is going to be super tough. Now, last note, Berrios is the kick and punt returner. Obviously, that's why we kept him. And then behind him is Achane in Washington. And, maybe they'll get some spot duties depending on what they think. So this is as good as it gets, guys. There's no reason for us to lose. I'm not saying we can't. Someone I talked to, GAWA, he was saying, or actually now he's Dundee Finns. He was saying, look, they beat us twice before, once home and once away. Don't get too cocky. And I thought that was good advice. Got to get into the film to see how it's looking. But guys, this is good as it gets. Great news. Let's see how this stuff plays out. I'm going to work on the matchups. And that's really it. Get ready. It's almost there. Thursday night's going to be a phenomenal game. Friday night looks like a really good game. And a whole host of Sunday games, with our game being the most important. So get ready. Get ready for some football. Curtis saying, be well, go Fins. Curtis out. Start building your own online sportsbook today by getting signed up with aceperhead.com service that'll allow you to book action on sports from all around the world.